In this bass lesson, you are going to learn the 3 levels of playing with a pick. Hi, I'm Luke from Become a Bassist, and whether you just want to rock out or make your picking more automatic, or even develop some super speed with a pick, I've got you covered in this lesson, and we're going to be doing it all with possibly the most iconic picked bass line of all time. Welcome to Become a Bassist, where it's all about insanely practical, no BS bass lessons designed to get you playing better bass, having more fun, becoming the best bassist you can be. And let me ask you, have you ever, read something online or even heard someone in person say something like, real bass players don't use picks? It's utter BS. Real bass players just play bass, and they play bass however they like. So if you want to get into playing with a pick, that's great. You'll hear nothing but encouragement and good vibes from me, and hopefully everyone you play with as well. And if you do want to get into pick playing, I've got these 3 levels that you can work through in this lesson. Now, when it comes to playing with a pick, you essentially have 2 motions, 2 movements that you can use. The first, and probably more common, and probably the one that most people are most comfortable with, is the downstroke. It looks like this. You're striking the string from above and moving down, like towards the ground. Yeah? That's why it's called a downstroke. But honestly, if you can just get pretty good at downstrokes, you can get away with like a ton of stuff. Tons of rock and punk music is kind of really built around like eighth notes, like Ramones-esque vibes. You can only use downstrokes and be 100% fine. Now, we could practice downstrokes with scale exercises and things like that, but I thought it'd be more fun to do this with a real-life bass line, one of the most iconic picked bass lines of all time, Roger Waters' line from Pink Floyd's Money. Now, I'd be shocked if you hadn't heard this, but if that's the case, if you haven't heard it before, it sounds like this. Now, of course, that's just using fingers, but grab your bass right now, grab a pick if you have one, and play along with me if you can. We're going to play this entire bass line with a pick, only using downstrokes, only going from above the string, going below it. Yeah, so that's going to sound like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See how with every note I'm going through the string. So through, and all in this direction, all going from above the string, going towards the ground. That's exactly what you want at this level. If you need to go slower, that's totally cool. That'll sound a bit like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By the way, the tracks and the tabs you see for everything in this lesson, they're available as a free download on becomeabassist.com. Just click the first link in the description underneath this video. You can download it all, follow along, play with the practice tracks for yourself. Like I said, you can get away with a lot just using downstrokes, and they're great for getting started quickly and just having a great time rocking out. If you're playing in punk bands, you could get away with a whole career of only playing downstrokes. But if you do want to go further, you want to have more options, the second motion is the upstroke. It's kind of the opposite of a downstroke. Instead of kind of being above and striking down through the string, we're going to start below the string, closer to the ground, and strike up through the string, going kind of towards the sky. Yeah, let's try Money with all upstrokes, only upstrokes this time. See how we go. 7. Oh, I messed that up. Yeah? I have to fight myself to not play those downstrokes. It's quite it's a bit challenging sometimes. And like I said, this is probably going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. It definitely feels uncomfortable for me, but at this point, it's just an exercise. I wouldn't recommend you actually play it this way at a jam session or a gig or anything like that. This is just to get you comfortable using, that upstroke motion, like that. Once you have these two basic motions under your belt though, the real magic can happen when you can combine upstrokes and downstrokes. And there are a couple of different ways to do that. If level 1 of pick playing was only using downstrokes or only using upstrokes, level 2 of pick playing is something called alternate picking. This is where you strictly go one downstroke followed by one upstroke and just about never deviate from that. Now, a lot of people like alternate picking because you can kind of set your hand to basically do this and then not worry about it too much. Just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah, so let's try and play this bass line with strict alternate picking. So down, up, over and over again. So we'll start with a downstroke on this B and then jump up to the octave and play the high B with an upstroke. And then on the downstroke for the F sharp and then up on the B. So the first half, down, up, and then the second half, we're going to keep alternating. So down on the low F sharp, downstroke there, up on the open A string, down on the B, and then up on the open D string. Yeah, so down, up, down, just like that, right? If we play it with the track, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, just like that. The bass line works perfectly well for alternate picking because it's got an even number of notes in it, right? So when we come back around to the start, we're already perfectly positioned to go around again, starting with a downstroke. We get down, oh pardon me, up, down. Yeah, so we can go around again and again and again. It's always going to be, lining up for us. And see how when I'm doing this, my hand is just kind of rocking back and forth. If I really exaggerate it, it'll look like this. Down, up, 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 down, up. Yeah, so it's just down, up, all day until the cows come home. This is what I mean when I say you can really make the picking hand somewhat automatic. You don't really have to think about what's coming next in terms of up or down. If your hand is up, your next note is a downstroke. If your hand is down, the next note is an upstroke. Couldn't be easier. Let's try the exact same thing though, but starting on an upstroke instead. Upstroke with the start, so we're going to end up going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's do this one with the slow practice track, because it probably won't feel as comfortable. 3, 4, 5, 6, upstroke. We've still got the kind of swinging motion in our arm, we're just starting at a different point. And again, this is going to be a good exercise, but probably not quite as comfortable and as natural as starting on a downstroke for most people. So you have level 1, which was just using downstrokes. Level 2 added upstrokes, and you had to alternate between the two. Now, the problem with being super strict about alternating upstrokes and downstrokes is that every once in a while, there's a tiny bit of wasted motion. How's that? Well, check this out. Say we're starting money on a downstroke, our first two notes. The low B is all fine, starting with a downstroke, but if we're playing the high B with an upstroke, it means jumping past the high G string, and then playing an upstroke from there. There's a little bit of wasted motion there. It's actually more efficient if you played that note as a downstroke. Instead of going up here and then coming back, all you have to go is from here, straight to that string, and you're saving, a tiny bit of motion there. There's actually a whole technique called economy picking, and essentially it boils down to this. When you're changing strings, just do the most efficient movements that you can. That means when you're moving from a thicker string to a thinner string, basically always use the downstroke, even if it messes up the alternating down, up thing. And the opposite is also true. Anytime you go from a thinner string to a thicker string, you should use an upstroke. This means you're wasting 0 of your motion, so you can develop super speed with a pick. So if that's something you're looking to do, then this might be the perfect technique for you. So how can you apply economy picking to the money bass line? Let's give that a try. We've already covered the first two notes. We're going down on the low B and then another downstroke on a high B. Why? Because we've moved from a thicker string, the A, to a thinner string, this G string right here. Now next we have an F sharp on the D string. So this time we're moving from a thinner string, the G string, to a thicker string, the D string. And our rule of economy picking tells us that we should use an upstroke here. So going from the B to the F sharp, we're going to use an upstroke with the F sharp. And next we're moving down a string again to the low B, so we need to use another upstroke here. So far we have down, down, up, up. Yeah, so down, down, up, up. Yeah, a double down, then a double up. But our next note in the phrase is on the E string, another thicker string, so we're going to use another upstroke. That's a triple upstroke. There's a bingo or something in there, right? So we're getting double down, 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 and then triple up. Yeah. Now our next note is an open A, which is the thinnest string than what we've just played, so we'll use a downstroke there. And then another note on the same string, so there we can just alternate, so that'll be an upstroke on the B. And then finally we'll play the open D string, a thinner string than the A string than we're on, so we'll use a nice downstroke. So nice and slow, you'll get this. Down, down, up, 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 down, up, down. Yeah? Watch the hand as I play this up to speed with the track. 5, 6, 7. Yeah? Notice how much less the hand is moving. We're not kind of getting this mad down, up thing, especially on the first part of the line. You know, we're not getting this back and forth in the picking hand. We're getting a much smoother kind of line. And this is why, at least in the right hand, you know, and this is why this is the preferred method for a lot of people who want to play faster and smoother, because it does eliminate a ton of that motion. Now, I'm not saying that any of these different ways of playing with a pick are any better or worse than any of the others. If you love playing all downstrokes, awesome, go hard. If you like the kind of automatic nature of alternate picking, awesome, go hard. If you love the efficiency of economy picking and how it lets you play it a little bit faster, awesome, go as hard as you like. Whatever you do though, I'd recommend being very systematic, very methodical with all your practice. And to help out with that, I'm giving away the tabs, tracks, and notation for everything you've seen in this video, including the slowed down drum tracks, so you can take things really slow, really make sure you're nailing it all. So to get everything, just click the link in the description or click right here, fill out the form on that page, and you can be mastering all 3 levels of using a pick on bass in less than 60 seconds. I'll see you in there.